Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing fantastic today. I'm Mysticle, and today I'll be bringing you the latest in AR and VR news. And today's video is going to be a little bit different, as it's a little bit more of the obscure side of news, and certainly a lot more gaming stuff. So, without any further ado, let's jump right in. First of all, we have some information on hacking the PlayStation VR 2 to work with PCVR. The main people behind this are the people behind the Ivory driver for Steam VR, allowing you to play PCVR on things like an Android phone or a Quest wirelessly. However, news recently came out that the creator of a PCVR driver, which includes support for the original PSVR 1 headset, says it's stepping away from hacking the PSVR 2 to work with PCVR, citing frustration, technical, financial, and social challenges. Now, I read into this, and the original piece of news essentially says that the developers decided to stop work on the project. They had hit some roadblocks, and let's just say social media wasn't being the nicest to them. Unfortunately, that's just the way social media works, and some people on social media will just decide to bully you for absolutely no reason. But I can imagine the frustration where they're trying to do something incredible for the community and getting hate back, essentially. It's not a very nice thing at all, as well as the fact that, of course, the financial challenges here are quite large. Boards need to keep getting developed, and so does software. However, there is a shining light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not even sure if that's something people say, but I said it, so now it is. And that is the fact that they seem to be back. The original tweet has been deleted, and we now have an update. Day 73. What we think we know. Authorization is done on control interface. SLAM tracking is done on data 1. Firmware update is done on data 2. Eye tracking is data 3. Pass-through is data 4. Controller LED tracking is data 5. And IMU is on status. This image is from the device manager. It shows all of the USB interfaces for the PSVR 2. I've made Windows drivers for all of the interfaces, so now we can talk to it properly once we figure out what to say. As that's the problem. They have the controller interfaces, they're connected to the PC, but the PSVR 2 is waiting for commands, and it'll only take a specific kind of command. So, what do you say to it? That is what they're trying to figure out, which is absolutely incredible, and I'm so happy that the project seems to be back, as I cannot find the original tweet that stated that they are stopping development. It seems that they just got an overwhelming amount of support under that tweet and decided that it might be worth to continue, and much love for that. If you guys want to follow the development, I will leave a Twitter link down below, and if you feel like supporting the development of the PlayStation VR 2 to PCVR driver, you can always buy the driver for PSVR 1 on Steam, and that will support the development for PSVR 2 going forward. With all that being said, next piece of news. This is going to be an unfortunate piece of news for Quest 1 owners, as VRChat is dropping support for the Quest 1 after the 1st of June 2023. This was inevitable. A ton of titles have started dropping support for the Quest 1. This is just something that seems to happen. Older headsets and older devices will eventually lose support, so that the developers can work on a newer version of the game to work with newer devices and pull more out of it. This always happens. We don't see games being developed for the PlayStation 2 anymore. And while the Quest 1 did have quite a bit of a shorter lifespan than something like the PlayStation 2, it does seem like it might be reaching the end of that, with Meta stopping updates for the Quest 1 and overall just stopping the SDK for it. This does seem to be where things end. And this is exactly what the VRChat developers said. To quote, "This is primarily due to Meta's deprecation of the Quest 1 SDK, which will prevent us from keeping VRChat updated properly on the device," states the team in a new developer update. It joins Onward, Zenith, The Last City, Synth Riders, and Myst, who all made similar announcements in the last few months, citing Meta's decision to end Quest 1 support this year. Here's what VRChat advised about this change. After June 30th, 2023, we will no longer provide support for the Meta Quest 1 headset. Tickets opened with our user support team regarding the Meta Quest 1 after this date will be informed that we no longer support the HMD and will not be able to provide assistance to users using it. Anytime after June 30th, the Quest 1 may stop working entirely. As I said, this does happen with older devices, and it's unfortunate that we have to see players on the Quest 1 not be able to use their device for VRChat standalone anymore, but hey, look, you still have PCVR gaming. So if you have a PC laying around or want to get into PCVR and don't feel like buying a new headset or just really like your Quest 1, now might be the chance to switch. Just saying, even though I know it's not the cheapest way to go. Now, here's something very exciting, as Into the Radius seems to be getting a sequel. Into the Radius is one of VR's most hardcore apocalyptic survival games that has come out. It's a cult favorite for a reason, as it offers up some of the most hardcore gameplay in a very Stalker-like inspired post-apocalyptic world, making for an absolutely unforgiving experience in an anomaly-ridden wasteland. The developers, CM Games, say a sequel is in the works. In a community update, CM Games says a second chapter of Into the Radius is being developed. To quote, "We are in the pre-production phase, and will follow an early access development model like we did before, when the time is right." The studio says, "The original Into the Radius is a testament to how much our community has helped us developing the game, and we want to continue this trend in the sequel." Into the Radius is an incredibly popular title, with a lot of people absolutely loving it, so it's not surprising to me that a ton of people are very excited about the fact that CM Games has announced that they're working on a sequel. Let me know what you think about Into the Radius down below. Have you played it, and are you excited to see that a new title is coming? Here's just something fun that I found on Reddit, and I found this to be actually just really smart. No Man's Sky VR, you can have a TV in your spaceship. This isn't a feature of the game, it seems to be done with OVR Toolkit, or not even OVR Toolkit, it just seems to have the window pinned from Steam VR into No Man's Sky. But can I just say how cool this is, and just how really smart this is? I've played No Man's Sky quite a bit in the past, and those spaceship journeys can take a very, very long time. And now being able to pin a window right there inside your cockpit and watch stuff in it is just an absolutely fantastic idea. You know, you could just be sitting back, relaxing, flying the spaceship, and watching something right there while the spaceship is essentially on autopilot. It's just kind of like a real-life method of spending time, if you get what I'm trying to say there. But yeah, I know for a fact, reading from the comments, that this isn't the first time this has been done, and people seem to have been doing it for quite some time in other titles where things just take time to be done. Just something really cool I wanted to throw into this video. And next piece of news. Here's a really cool one. Red Matter 2 takes off on PlayStation VR 2 next week. Nearly 3 weeks after announcing Red Matter 2 for PSVR 2, Vertical Robot confirms it's coming on May 18th. Releasing last year on PCVR and standalone headsets, developer Vertical Robot announced via Twitter that Red Matter 2 is coming to PlayStation VR 2 next week. Widely considered one of the best looking VR games across both the Quest 2 and Pico, this edition goes a step further, featuring native 120 FPS support without reprojection. Vertical Robot also confirmed this edition features 4K remastered textures alongside enhanced lighting and shadow effects, much like the Quest Pro version. Foveated rendering is also supported. Given Vertical Robot's track record of pushing the limits of graphical power on standalone hardware, and Upload VR's own notes about the problems with reprojection on the PSVR 2 system, Red Matter 2 running natively without it could translate into this game becoming one of the system's visual powerhouses. Now, yes, Red Matter had some of the best visuals for a standalone title. They seem to absolutely be pushing the limits here, and with the title running even better on the Pico headset, as it was able to get more power from it. I cannot wait to see how Red Matter 2 pushes the limits on this new headset, especially since they have a lot more power coming from that PlayStation 5. And yeah, next piece of news. F1 2023, one of the world's biggest motorsport games, is back to PCVR this June. F1 23 is officially revealed, and EA Sports is bringing PCVR back to its annual racing series this June. After supporting PCVR in F1 22, it's little surprise to see Codemasters confirm that it's back once again. Unveiled on May 10th, after several previous teases, F1 23 roster updates you'd expect from an annual sports series, alongside 2 new tracks, the Las Vegas Street Circuit and the Losail International Circuit in Doha, Qatar. That includes legacy circuits like Circuit Paul Richard, Shanghai International Circuit, and the Algarve International Circuit. I know a ton of people that play around with sims. I don't have the room to place a fully blown racing sim here, but I have played on fully blown racing sims, and it's incredible the kind of experience you can get in titles like this. And I'm so happy to see F1 23 continue that trend of F1 supporting PCVR for the future, as racing titles are incredibly popular in VR. I mean, just look at the PSVR 2. It has shown that you can create an absolutely stunning racing experience in virtual reality, especially with the right headset and with the right haptics and with the right gear. With the right gear, you can just immerse yourself completely. I mean, I remember watching a video from Get Hip on Twitter, and originally I just thought that he took his Audi out on the track, but then I realized, no, this is actually virtual reality, and that was the moment I kind of had a mind. But yeah, next piece of news. Pokerstars VR is now available for the PSVR 2. PSVR 2 players can now join the table for a virtual round of poker in Pokerstars VR, which released for Sony's new VR headset. The release dropped on the PlayStation VR 2 without much fanfare or prior warning. It's one of the few stealth releases that arrived on the headset this week, alongside Transformers Beyond Reality and Organ Quarter. So, if any of you guys are interested in playing poker in virtual reality and have access to a PlayStation VR 2 headset, you can now play along with all the other devices playing in Pokerstars VR. And let's move on to our last piece of news, where multiplayer arrives to Puzzling Places. On Twitter, Puzzling Places developer Realities.io teased a new multiplayer functionality with a GIF that seemingly shows one user handing off a puzzle to another. And to quote, "Something exciting is coming to Puzzling Places. What could it be?" And that was followed up with tweets from Puzzling Places account and a tweet from the game's puzzle maker. To quote, "Puzzling Places multiplayer is honestly so much fun. We'll have news to share very soon." Fire. That makes it very obvious what's coming, and to all the fans of Puzzling Places, you will now get to play around with multiplayer very, very soon. But that is going to be it for today's video. If you guys like this one, please do leave a like. If you disliked it, I guess the button works too. But let me know why down below. If you guys are not yet part of our community, check out our Discord and check out our Reddit down below. I would love to see you guys discussing the topics we talked about in today's video, or just any topic whatsoever in those socials down below. And thank you so much to all the Patreons supporting this channel. You guys are helping me out a ton right now, and honestly, I cannot thank you enough. So much love. And thank you to anybody else that is supporting the channel in any other means as well. You guys have no idea how much this support means. And as usual, if you want to be notified about your content coming up on the channel, make sure to smack that subscribe button with your forehead, ding my bell, and see you again in the next video.